Sass Squad, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be covering some VGC 2021 for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Right here we have a team that my homie Slade Wilson 007, shout out to him by the way, he made this rental team based on an idea that we were kind of tossing around on stream last week. And this is, feel free to rent this if you'd like to try this team out. But I wanted to kind of make a spicy build around Marowak, and as you can see here, we are actually running Earthquake, and not a lot of people expect Earthquake from Marowak, and surprisingly it's been pretty useful on this line. The idea is to try to get up screens, and then generally, depending on what the situation our opponent has, we can have some Trick Room control, we have speed control in general for Tailwind and Trick Room, and we can even activate a Metagross weakness policy with beat up on Whimsicott if we want to go that route as well. So anyways, let's just jump into the video. So in this battle, my opponent's going to be leading Reggie, Alecki, and Rillaboom, and I lead Lapras and Porygon Z. So in this scenario, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. I was maybe thinking potentially a fake out from Rillaboom, but I wasn't really sure what to. I had a feeling we were going to see Volt Switch or Electro Web from Reggie Alecki, so I was really considering here on switching out Marowak into Marowak, Alolan Marowak, because I do have Lightning Rod on Marowak. And what I end up doing is protecting with Lapras, and I'm thinking, no matter what they do, if they don't flinch Porygon, I'm going to get Trick Room up, so this would still be a pretty good position. So yes, we do see the Volt Switch, but that's not going to hurt too much on Porygon too. My opponent brings in their Dusclops. We were kind of expecting Dusclops here, and surprisingly, going for Protect on Lapras really paid off because Rillaboom actually goes for knockoff, we are protecting, and we do get up our Trick Room. So now we're in a pretty interesting scenario. I wasn't really sure what this Dusclops move set was. There is a chance it could potentially be Ally Switch, but this early in the battle, I didn't really think it was a smart idea to over-predict, so I'm going to just double down Ice moves here, and they end up switching Rillaboom out into Glastrier, trying to take advantage of this Trick Room that I've set up. And fortunately for us, we will be able to set up our screens here with our G-Max Lapras. So this puts us in a pretty decent scenario. I am a little nervous that we're going to kind of struggle here, depending again on what we're going to see from this Dusclops. But Dusclops has Bulldoze, which doesn't really do anything here. I'm not really understanding what it was trying to accomplish. We're in Trick Room, so if anything, it just made us faster. So I'm doubling down Ice moves, because that was originally targeted at Rillaboom. They didn't want to like dance around the Ally Switch, and that did a decent amount Glastrier, but I'm suspecting that my opponent is probably going to Dynamax this next turn. So this team's really nice because there's a lot of natural bulk on a lot of the Pokemon that we're running, and then there's a nice balance of speed control and spice. I mean, the Marowak, surprisingly, I find myself bringing Alolan Marowak to a lot of matches with the team. So as I said, our opponent is going to Dynamax. Here is the Glastrier. Pretty scary because this thing is going to want setting up some defensive buffs on its team, which again, this thing can get out of control. So I'm again kind of fearing this Ally Switch, but we didn't see it yet. I'm just still targeting my intended target instead of trying to over-predict. And we see the Max Quake and the special defense boost. Dusclops ends up using Pain Split. Fortunately, it doesn't do much here. Tri-Attack from Porygon is going to be a better option than Ice Beam. And I go for the Max Geyser trying to set up Rain. And lucky for me, I end up getting a critical hit here. That's pretty significant. I mean, I feel like I'm in a better position than my opponent right now if they don't have Ally Switch, or I'm not really sure what they're doing with this Dusclops. It was hard to I didn't like I said, we're trying to see what its moveset is, but we're also trying not to over-predict. So we know it has Bulldoze. We've seen we assume it has Trick Room in Nightshade. So again, let's see. We see the Max Hellstorm. This was an interesting play for my opponent. I know they were trying to get rid of the weather, and I was thinking, so maybe they're going to Pain Split again, and maybe that puts them in healthy range. And I was looking at that, and honestly, I don't think it's going to matter. And as you can see here, Max Geyser can come in, and even without the rain boost, we're going to be able to knock out. This is a Life Orb, fully offensive Lapras. So that damage does matter. So we're able to knock out this huge threat. I'm not sure if they played around it correctly. I understand their desire to want to bring it in and take advantage of the Trick Room, but this Dusclops is just not really helping out. And as you can tell, we're not going to see LA switch, because once we saw Pain Split, it was pretty clear what its moveset was. That's what I meant to say a little bit earlier. So this Dusclops isn't really doing much. It's kind of almost hurting our opponent more, because it's not really taking away the Trick Room. They were trying to take advantage of the Trick Room, but they just kept Dusclops in there. So they bring in Regieleki, and at this point, we still haven't revealed that we have the Alolan Marowak with Lightning Rod. I decide I'm going to go for a Tri-Attack on Regieleki, and I'm going to switch in Marowak. And that way, if it goes for any electric moves, trying to like play around, well, they end up just protecting, which is fine. I mean, their Dusclops ends up going for Nightshade, which we'll be able to survive. It takes 3 of those in total to take down Marowak, and there's still the grassy terrain here on the field, so we are getting residual healing at the end of the turn still. So the Trick Room ends this turn, and so does the grassy terrain. I'm going to go Earthquake, and I'm going to use Trick Room, because the beauty about Earthquake paired up with Porygon 2, your opponent's never going to see it coming, and it doesn't really do much damage to Porygon 2. And the cool thing also here is my opponent, for some reason, tries to go for Volt Switch, and we completely absorb that attack. So those special attacks aren't going to be doing anything for us, but at least we neutralize that damage. So in comes another Nightshade, and we're at 77 HP. We're still in we're still in a really healthy position against this Dusclops. The Dusclops is not going to be able to do much to Porygon Z. So we're going to see the Rillaboom come out, and at this point, as you know, we have Trick Room back up. All that my opponent has left is Dusclops and Rillaboom. So I think I decide that I'm going to switch in Metagross, and I'm going to go for Recover. I was going to use this as a time to like regain momentum even harder. So I bring in the Metagross, which nothing on my opponent's team can really threaten it, and me trying to heal up Porygon 2 is also detrimental, because my opponent only has Rillaboom to beat Porygon 2, and if it can't beat Porygon 2, it's pretty much game no matter what. Porygon 2 is a great choice for Trick Room. So, as you can tell, they're going for Recover was actually a great play there. My opponent was trying to target Porygon 2, knowing that it had to try to get a crit, or hopefully I wasn't going for the Recover this turn. really significant that we went for that recover because it puts us in a really safe spot. We don't really have to over predict here, and my opponent knows that that's pretty much game. So good game there, and if you guys would like to try out this team, definitely I will be leaving the code here and below. And thanks again for checking out this content. I'm going to try to cover more VGC 2021 here on my YouTube channel as well. So thanks again for swinging by, and take care, friends.